we pick specific brands over others.
An economist would say, how is this possible that a rational consumer would be willing to pay more for exactly the same thing?
As we all know, this has something to do with branding. And whether you like it or not, a strong brand influences your behavior. And next to this, there's also something as a personal brand that helps you stand out, build trust, and opens the door to new opportunities. But first, Badr Hari. Now, you might be wondering, what does Badr have to do with personal branding? Well, let me explain. It's the year 2003, and Badr fought one of his first big fights in front of a large audience against a man named Alexei Ignatiev.
Interesting to see what Hari can do against this Alexei Ignatiev, a man who has so much more experience.
At that time, Badr was only 18 years old.
The weight difference was like maybe 20 or 25 kilograms, and I took the fight like a week before, because somebody else canceled the fight. And I did what I had to do. I fought it hard, and I think the people respected the fighting spirit. It was the moment that everybody knew Badr Hari. There was the guy who fought Ignatiev. He lost, but he fought it hard. He did his best, and he gave it all that he had. So I think people respected it.
And from that point on, Badr began building a legacy, knocking out some of the greatest fighters in the sport. Badr's impressive performance in the kickboxing ring allowed him to establish a strong reputation for himself. However, there's more to this story. Badr is a well-spoken, charismatic and intelligent athlete. And when it comes to fighting, he simply doesn't hold back. He has created this bad boy image. When Badr is in the ring, it's always a spectacle. From the press conferences to the actual fights, anything can happen. People can witness an angry, a relaxed or a happy Badr. You never know. I dare to say that people want to buy tickets when Badr is fighting, because no one knows what will happen. Whether he wins or loses, Badr always brings excitement. He consciously or subconsciously built this brand for himself. Regardless of your opinion of him, whether you love him or hate him, he has created this "it's showtime, fireworks and anything can happen" kind of brand that simply sells out arenas, even to this day.
If he is good and I am bad, and it sells out arenas, then let me be bad. So I'm good.
So as we see, just like products, services and companies have a brand, we as humans also have a personal brand. And at first I thought personal branding was all about self-promotion. But a simple Google search showed me that your personal brand is how others perceive you. It is the combination of your skills, the values you present, and the impression you leave on others. As Jeff Bezos once said, it's what people think about you when they hear your name, as well as what people say about you when you're not in the room. So personal branding isn't just for influencers or content creators, it's for everyone. I mean, if you think about it, in a way, we all need to sell ourselves, both in a professional and in a personal setting. We face it when we apply for a job, or ask for a promotion, or even when we write a dating profile. Many of our professional and personal goals depend upon how others perceive us. And today, your personal brand is visible to anyone who simply Googles your name. So the importance of a personal brand becomes stronger and stronger. And this raises the following question. How do you build a strong personal brand? Now I dived in this world of personal branding, watched dozens of videos, read articles, listened to podcasts, and it all came down to the following. The first phase is what I call the self-discovery phase. It's the foundation for building a personal brand. It involves figuring out your passions, envisioning your ideal life, and who you want to become. The ultimate goal is to find an area that matches your capabilities and interests. And very important, it must be something that can be valuable for other people. For example, you may want to become a skilled video editor or a proficient software developer or maybe even an athlete. And also important to mention is that this phase isn't a binding contract. I mean, people change as do their goals and interests. But in order to build a personal brand, we need some kind of focus. The second phase is the building phase. In this phase, you begin to pick up the skills that are necessary to excel in the specific area that you identified in the self-discovery phase. Now, this phase is not limited to just learning. It also involves putting those skills into practice and building a resume. This phase demands consistent effort and a commitment to continuous improvement. Now, keep in mind that this is an ongoing process that never ends. And then the final phase, which I refer to as the sharing phase. This phase centers around communicating what you've learned and achieved. This can take various forms, whether through short-form content on platforms like X, Instagram or TikTok, or in the creation of long-form content, such as blogs and videos. But you can also share your expertise in offline settings like presentations. The primary objective is to share the value that you possess. I mean, if you are very good at something but nobody knows it, then what do you have? And next to this, in this phase, it's crucial to be authentic. Avoid using ChatGPT generated content, which we see a lot nowadays. Just be yourself. Personal branding only works if it's authentic. And another important one, consistency is more important than intensity. Building a strong personal brand isn't something that happens in a few months. It may take years. And for this reason, it's essential to find something that you are truly passionate about. But overall, in my perspective, personal branding is just a trendy term for an ongoing process of becoming better at something that you are truly passionate about and that is valuable for other people. And a very crucial element of this process is sharing the knowledge that you've gained along the way in an authentic way, where consistency is more important than intensity. Now, this is basically my version of personal branding based on all the information I've consumed. And it's something that I'm going to work on as well. Now, let me know what you think, and I see you in the next one. Cheers!